Hey, hello and welcome to another episode of Cyberpunk 2049 um, Solid State Society. So tonight's session is going to be fun. We're trying to bring to a close what started off as a one-shot mission that basically just grew. Um, we're going to try and rescue rescue Doc today, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to come to a close. So, a quick recap. Um, we first started this game with Yin and Neuro being assigned a mission to provide Overwatch. A deal between Mr. Sachs and an unknown party was going down, and he needed some protection. The deal went through fine. However, the party was ambushed by an unknown gang. Yin was left for dead. Neuro was captured and taken hostage, and the package was also taken in the process. The session ends with Neuro in cyberspace, and though in space you cannot hear someone scream, in cyberspace maybe you can. One never knows. So that's how that session ended. The next session, Yin reaches out to her contacts, her brother. From nowhere, he appears on the scene. Her ex appears on the scene. A contact of her ex appears on the scene. Yin is connected. They get her to a medfac facility, get her all patched up, and now Yin is on a warpath. She needs that money, and she does not fail when something is assigned to her. She starts investigating. Her investigations take her to Little Wing, data broker market. She meets her old contact Zamir there, and she's able to find out that she actually has an open line with Neuro. They're able to trace the open line to an industrial location in Icarus One. When all of that's getting wrapped up, Mr. Sachs's men appear on the scene because they believe that Yin has she's playing some sort of a double cross or double game over here. She's able to convince them she's not. They provide even more intel. They also provide the name of the gang, called the Knuckle Dragger Gang, and they have been a pain in Mr. Sachs's side. So if she can clear them out with extreme prejudice, all the better. And that session ends with eventually the group that is Yin, her brother Yang, Machine, and Trauma arriving on the periphery of that industrial location. Then we kind of take a sidebar where, given the fact that Yin and Yang have not seen each other in years, suddenly being put so close together in such close proximity, they get a chance to discuss past events, each other's future, and some of the emotional trauma they've gone through. At the end of that session, though, Neuro is somehow able to reach out to Yin over that compat line, and that's how that session ends. In addition to that, in some previous backstories, we also know that Neuro has some contacts that he can depend on, in addition to Yin, who he has just met that one evening. So this session is going to try and bring it all in, and we're first going to start deep in that industrial location where Neuro is being held. Remember, Neuro is injured. He's been put into cyberspace, and he, at that point, is observing what looks like a military software guarding itself from any sort of probes, attacks, or what's the word I call it?
Intrusion.
Intrusion. Yes, thank you. So, without much further ado, we go to that industrial location. So many screens. So as the camera zooms into the scene, we see Neuro trapped to what looks like a cyber rig. He has just taken his goggles off after a long session, and as the camera starts kind of panning around, you see there are three individuals, very similar in style, tattoos. You have met these individuals before. They are the Knuckle Dragger gang. And one individual in the center of the room who looks to be very different from the rest. He stands apart. He is well built, bald, and constantly scowling. And as the scene opens up, Nero is bleeding from his sides where he was also shot, along with Ian when he was abducted. Take it away, Nero.
So let me just confirm real quick, Cypher. I am currently out of the system right now, correct?
Yes, you just took off the rig. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So Nero, after he takes his rig off and he's no longer in the digital space, all of a sudden that flood of serotonin, the feelings, everything coming back to remind him that he's injured. And immediately, as soon as the goggles come off and he's jacked out, just the white hot searing pain just hits him in his side again, as his body just recalls the insult it took to his side there. He reaches out immediately and grabs his side with his hand, tries to stop the bleeding. He's holding it with his other hand. He reaches out and hits a steel tray that had some different objects on it. The steel tray goes flying and clanking to the ground, and Nero just kind of arches over and just groans. Oh God, are you gonna do something about this? And he's just holding his side as he kind of just sits there and rocks in pain. He looks over to the guy in the goggles over there and he said, "Come on, man, just give me something for the pain. You want me to do this job? Take care of this." And he moves his hand away to show the blood on his hand and the wound at his side.
The bald man with the goggles kind of steps forward, looks at you, kind of cranes his neck in a weird fashion. I expected you to be stronger. Does not seem to be the case. Tell me, does the bleeding affect your ability to hack the program?
Only when I'm out here. I feel the pain out here. Log me back inside. I'll get back in the program. I'll get you what you're looking for. Or give me something for this pain now. Either way, something's got to be done about it, man.
Interesting. Tell me, how long do you think you'll need to hack that program?
Another hour. Maybe less.
And Nero, with all the adrenaline that's going around you, being abducted, shoved into cyberspace like this, you don't realize how bad things are, and you kind of see his head kind of point down, and you follow his gaze, and you look at your side, and you start realizing that you have been losing a lot of blood from your side. Okay for now, but there is... And he looks up at you. Well, he looks up at at this guy over here. Give him something for the pain and reach out to the med network. Let's try and get someone in here to fix him up. Yes, boss. Right on it. And this person steps forward, and in his hands, he has a couple of pills, and he says, "These are some stims which should keep you up for now. You won't feel the pain, but when you get off them, you're going to have a hangover, my friend."
Before he even finishes talking, Nero snatches him out of his hand and just pops him into his mouth, creating a little bloody mess on his face.
He kind of gives a shrug and has that smile. Well, they always do. very antsy for these pills, but not the next day. And then the bald-headed guy looks at it and is like, "That's enough talk. Reach out the med network." Yes, boss. And he kind of steps away.
Hey, before I go back in there, you're gonna need someone to stop this bleeding. If I die, well, I'm no good to you. So while I'm in there, someone better start working on this. And he points to his wounds at his side.
Yes, I agree. My men have been a little rough in handling the packages. It is a complication. Nonetheless, I shall get you medical aid. But do know this: if you do not finish the hack in an hour, I will personally gut you from asshole to ear hole. Deal?
Whatever you want, man. Just take care of it. I can get this done. Put me back in there.
Excellent. And he kind of snaps his finger at this guy. He steps forward and he starts. There's some dirty rags lying around. He just takes those and starts wrapping around your wound to stem the flow as much as possible. This person steps forward and starts placing the cyber rig on your face. And next thing you know, you are in cyberspace. When you're here, Nero, just to kind of set the scene again in case, because it was quite some time. Cyberspace, this is like a three-dimensional space you are in. As you look around you, you see that you are in your standard cyberspace avatar, and I'll give you some time to explain it to everyone. In the distance, you see what looks like a fantastical creature. To any ordinary person, surfing through cyberspace, it looks fantastical, but they also know that something like this can hurt them if they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's looking fantastical because it's clearly a security program. Whatever it is guarding, whatever it encompasses, is basically why you're here. However, through your time in space, you have been observing a few things, and as you roleplay them out, I will just draw them on the screen to kind of give everybody else some sort of a spatial orientation. Sounds good?
Okay.
Cool. Go for it.
So, Nero, as soon as he downloads into cyberspace and he's, he enters into it, the pain, the searing hot pain, all of that kind of disappears behind him, and it's still there. It's almost like what a dream feels like when you wake up and you know you've had a dream, and it's on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't quite recall it. That's what his pain feels like now in his side. And he's in this location knowing that right in front of him is pretty significant security for the package that they had picked up that he's been asked to hack. Knowing that that's the security, and also knowing, reverberating through his mind just over and over was the person who sent them on. What was his name? Sachs. Who sent them here? Just his words repeating through his brain. Don't attempt to open it. Don't attempt to crack it. Don't attempt. He just gave so many warnings, and now Nero inside, seeing this significant security, is remembering those words. Don't confront it. Don't attack it. Don't try and get in. And he's taking that to heart. So, obviously, Nero's going to want to try and find a way around the security. He starts looking for other routes, other loopholes, other means of getting around this security or getting the information that he needs. So I immediately start looking for a back door past the security if I can. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me an int plus.
An int plus what?
Hack.
I don't have a hack. Is it program?
Oh, sorry, program. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
With int. Okay.
Yep. All right. I will let you role play this out. So as you are looking closer at the program, not engaging with it directly, but looking at all the data streams around it, you observe this data stream. Whoa, what the hell? Sorry.
I'm sorry. I observed what data stream?
Hold on. So there is a data stream that seems to be emanating from this program. Something has engaged with it. It looks very different from all the data streams around it.
So Nero starts in his virtual world here, starts collecting the information immediately coming from that. He wants to take a closer look at this data stream that stands out from the security and see if there's anything else there that can be collected, or what it's leading to, what it's leading from, to see if maybe it's a way around the security.
Yep. So as you get a little closer to see, you realize that the access point to the program and then deeper into cyberspace, as I've drawn with those green lines, you see a data pattern that looks very familiar, as if something is being copied.
So if you could see his eyes in here, Nero's eyes would widen a little bit as he starts noticing a pattern. That's someone in his business. That's exactly what they look for. They're looking for the patterns. They're looking for the ones and the zeros that make sense, that they've seen before, and combinations they've seen before, and combinations that they understand. And he's seeing something along those lines, and he immediately latches onto it, starts focusing on that to follow it, see where it goes.
You notice that the data line, as you're seeing, it kind of spreads out of this network, and it is going away from this industrial complex. If reality is basically a three-dimensional Terra map, cyberspace is very similar in its how do you say, representation. So technically, while you could be in here physically in the industrial location, the data can go to some other part in Icarus, and you could potentially travel with it. You start seeing that the data is being taken away from this location and is being transported away somewhere deeper into the heart of Icarus 1. As you start moving along that data pipeline towards wherever it is going, after a certain small amount of time, you hit an invisible wall. And you realize that your cyber presence cannot cross this wall, this invisible wall that is keeping you here, the program here, but it's only allowing that data stream to leave this.
Nero just kind of mumbles to himself, "God damn, firewall." And then he, in the virtual world, kind of nods his head. Okay, got this in my back pocket long enough. And he connects to another stream, a stream that he brought in here with him, that the others weren't aware of. And through this stream, he starts communicating. and he starts calling out while attempting to mask the code, sent this signal going out so that the others can't see it. But he starts calling out,
Mhm.
Yin,
And
Yin, can you hear me? Yin.
with
And he
that
sends a
call,
signal out looking for Yin, knowing that their paths are so connected, hoping that she's at some point looking at it or has figured it out as well.
and Yin, you start seeing your compad light up as a familiar number that you've been tracking reaches out to you. At this point, you are up on the tower with your brother Yang. You have just finished your conversation and you're thinking about your next steps of infiltrating this place when the call comes through.
And Ian will look down at her compad and look at the number. A bit excited, slightly confused that he's calling her, and she'll raise the compad to her ear. Hello?
Yin, is that you?
Yes, Nero.
Oh, God, I'm glad you still have the connection.
Of
I didn't think
course.
I was ever gonna find you.
We've already found you.
You found me. Wait, we? Who's we? Who?
I have some assistants helping me find you. As our employer, Mr. Sachs, is not going to take kindly to that item that we got being opened. I am not too sure. But he is not happy. So, he has instructed me along with some of my compatriots to assist find you and eliminate all threats within the building.
Well, do you know where I'm at? I've run into a firewall, something, but he'll be happy to know. They haven't gotten into it. It's not cracked yet. That's what they brought me for, and I haven't done it. I followed the data stream. I followed it outside the facility. It's going into the city. It looks like they're making a backup, and it looks like they're trying to move whatever's. They're trying to make a copy, a backup of the package, and move the information out of here. I don't know, in case something happens here, they want to back up and have it somewhere else, or if they're having someone else hack it from another location. But in any case, I can only get so far, then I have to stop. The digital trail ends.
Where exactly is this place? As we're at your location, but we know there's lots of people here. But if they're making a backup, it might be pertinent to destroy this backup.
Well, I think with a little more time, I can follow the trail. I can follow that stream and find out where it's going. I just need to get out of here first. I need my body healed. Wait, weren't you injured too? I thought I can't remember. It's all a blur now.
I was, but luckily the assistants I called in, one of the gentlemen is a medic of sorts. He is also here. So if we seek and destroy all the men inside, we can assist you and heal you.
Oh, God. I'm going to try and see what I can do about pinging my location to you.
Good.
So that you can get to me. I'll see what I can do about bringing some of this electronic security down to make it easier.
Good. See if you can stall. Mr. Sachs does not want that box opened or hacked. I do not fully understand this tech nonsense, but if it is, my compatriots and you are dead.
Yeah, well, I'm almost dead as it is.
I'll hold
Listen.
on.
They're not going to get into it. I'm stalling them right now. But my body needs help, and I can't stall them forever. I'll try and get you to me.
Good. Do it.
And Nero immediately starts looking for a way to look for a route into their system. If for some reason they connected, all of this to their system, I'm connected to their system. If I am, I immediately start looking for schematics and security and all of those kinds of things.
Sure. So as you start looking around, you realize that something stands out to you. And you realize slowly but surely there is some good news and there's some bad news. You look at the schematics, and whatever firewall that they have placed around this is making communication difficult, sending data out. Your compad, because of your ability to set up communications, is working, and that data stream is running. But everything else is hazy. There's a lot of, it'll take you some time to decipher that along with what you're already trying to do. The good news is, as you were talking to Yin and you were running, you realize that the data stream that's going deeper into Icarus 1 is also providing this security network. That is how the data stream itself is not being detected by anybody else. So think of it like this. Some other location is projecting a net around your location. And in that net, there is a data pipeline that is siphoning data out of your location.
Well, then obviously Nero's first job is to get that net pulled off.
Mm-hmm. So as you are kind of thinking of various ways to pull that net off, the scene kind of shifts to trauma. Trauma, on your compad, you start getting messages. Like all professionals in this game, you're all connected to various networks that allow you to access jobs. Most often than not, these jobs are under dubious circumstances, and there are some that you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. But one job catches your eye. It's requesting medical backup at a location you realize where you're already taking out.
Oh. Yeah, so as far as sitting where I'm at, I'm staking this out, you said?
Yes, so if you look at the map you're on and you kind of move it around, you are at the bottom left corner.
Am I in
So-
a vehicle? Am I outside of it?
You're outside. Machine is kind of walking the perimeter to see some other ways of entering this place. Yin and Yang disappeared and they were looking for vantage points to infiltrate this place. You yourself are keeping an eye about you on the front entrance to see if there's any activity that would give you a chance to get in there.
Are we connected on Comlink at all?
You would be connected to Yin and Yang and Machine, yes.
Okay. So I'd see that and put two and two together, and you're on Comlink with Yang. So I don't trust Yin. And hey, Yang.
Yes?
Pretty sure I have a way in. They're requesting medical backup in there.
Yang looks over to Yin. He has a way in.
Oh?
Medical backup for your friend, I assume. I heard you
Ah,
speaking to him.
yes, he is gravely injured.
Well, shall we go down and join this medic?
ask him if he needs a backup team. Personally, if you would like to go in the front door with Trauma, I'll go in the back. I do not do well head-on.
I will go with you, Yin. He brings the compad back to his place. Very well, we'll find another way in. Back door, if you will.
Got it. I'll go in, play the part. If shit hits the fan, I'll make sure I get him out.
Very well. Turns off his compad.
Do the
Let us
same.
find that way in then.
Let me check the drone again, and she'll, I'm guessing she can pull up on her compad kind of video feed of that drone that Mr. Sachs lent them.
Yes, you can. And what you observe is that... Perfect. Awesome. What you observe is that... sorry. What you observe is that over here, on this, where I'm pinging, do you see that? There's actually what looks like a vent going down. And that vent, through a series of tunnels, leads you to what looks like... hold on. Come on. Sorry, one.
It's okay.
Okay, the player thing doesn't...
Yes, this place.
Yeah, it leads you here. And you notice that once you enter from this place, you will eventually get into the room that you saw. And you feel that from there you can find out where Nero is being held.
Perfect. So I will... Ian will take her compad and kind of show Yang where it is and point it out. Looks like this is the best place to enter.
Okay. 1 minute. Awesome. Yeah. So, Yang, I believe you want to discuss something with Ian before you guys started. This will be the time.
No, I don't really have anything to say to her.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So with that, Ian and Yang, you guys make it down the tower you're on, and we shall run through a series of exercises as you climb these additional towers. So this is kind of what the path would look like. Please bear with me. I know I am drawing things on a map. Very reminiscent of another GM who did that, but so imagine that, as you guys walk down that tower you're on, you then find a way, you'd see a way to get along this tower, jump up here, get to here, not jump, but get over there. And that is exactly where your the drone was that showed you the entry point, right here.
Okay.
Right, so that's kind of the path you'll have to take. So you'll have to climb up, make it across, climb up again, and then get there to that point. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay. Trauma, once you respond to the text, you make your way back to your car. You get a quick word with the machine to keep an eye out while you infiltrate this place. And in the time that it takes Yin and Yang to come down that tower, you find the car, you bring it around, and you enter this place. So, what does your approach look like? Where do you pull the car? And
I pull up kind of slow so that their guards can see me, flash the lights, and then pull it around to park.
Okay.
Get out with my bag, shotgun included, not even trying to hide it, just have it as part of my equipment.
Okay, so feel free to move your token to them. And yes, who might you be?
I believe you guys put up a notice that you needed some medical assistance.
Let me check. And he kind of snaps his fingers at the two guys up top to kind of keep an eye on you. And this guy steps away. You can see him conversing on his compad. And after a few seconds, interesting. You could make it here so fast. We do have a medical emergency. And he kind of steps up to you. But will need to check you out, though.
Should I already declare that I'm strapped?
Well, it's expected you to be strapped in a situation like this, but I'll need to look at the contents of that bag, please.
Sure. Put them on the ground, open it up.
He opens it up, and I'm assuming there's a lot of medical supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
And he kind of starts rummaging around it, very rough with his way of rummaging around it. And then once he's done, he closes the bag. Fine, you look fine to go. And he kind of looks you up and down. Follow me, please.
Pick up my bag and follow him in.
As you're getting let in, Nero, he's in there and he's, again, trying to follow that data stream, and he's doing everything that he's, needing to do inside there. When it dawns on him, we're going to need a way out. And he pings Yin. Yin.
Climbing right now, what?
We're going to need a way out. A fast way out.
Oh. Oh no. We're gonna be the only ones left in that building after we're done with it.
Yeah, well, if anyone had managed to hit any kind of alarm, we're still going to need a fast way out, even if there's no one here. People will show up.
There are vehicles. Lord, what do you mean? We have one.
Yeah, well, I trust someone. I want him to be a part of this, if you will. And Nero forwards the information, Val's information, contact information, through the pad. I need you to contact this person here. His name's Val. He's the fastest way out of here. He's the fastest there is. And he's the only one I trust right now. Maybe except for you.
Oh. Well, flattery will get you everywhere. I will give him a call.
Thank you.
Stay alive.
And Nero goes back to his data streams.
All right. Ian, do you reach out to Val?
Yeah, as she's climbing down. Are they climbing back up or hopping back up now to get into
Let's say, the first climb. So I'll move your tokens over here. At this point, you guys have made it over there. On the picture, it looks like you're right there, but you are decently far off from where those knuckle draggers are, that you don't need to make any stealth rolls just yet. So by the time Trauma pulled up here and he was taken in, you guys climbed down your tower and you're there. That's when Nero reached out to you. We have Bluetooth today, 2049. You really don't need a fully hands-on system to communicate with folks. So you definitely can reach out to Val if you want to at this point.
So, as they're climbing there, she will use the information that Nero had sent over to her and call that contact, hoping that he'll pick up and it's not just some empty trail Nero gave her.
And we move to that familiar workshop where Val is sitting on his workbench. And Val, you hear your compad ring. It's a number that you have never seen before. So there is some hesitation as the phone rings.
So Valentine has some tech goggles on at this point. For once, he's not either eating a meal or cooking one, but he does have a cigarette hanging out of the left side of his mouth, and that acrid, bitter smoke is floating up through his goggles, and he has a small screwdriver and a soldering iron, and he's working on some sort of electronic piece, and his communicator goes off and beep, 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 and looks at it. God damn it. Fucking bill collectors. And starts beeping again. Beep, 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 beep. Looks at it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Puts his goggles up over his head. Answers it. Click. What the fuck do you want?
Hi, nice to make your acquaintance too. Val, is it?
Hey, listen. I'm not the daddy, okay? Fuck off.
That's not my question. I am assuming you've heard of the name Nero, correct?
As you're speaking to him, you hear the click of his goggles go back down, and zzz, 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 zzz. He starts soldering again as he's talking to you. Hey, listen, sweet cakes. I like your voice, so we'll keep this conversation going. What'd you say?
Nero. You recognize the name, don't you?
Yeah. I know a kid named Nero. What of it?
He gave me your number, said you are the fastest driver in the city.
Yeah. There's some arguments about that. There are those twins, but between you and me, he's a bit of a retard. Yeah, I'm the fastest in the city. You need a talent behind the wheel, sweets?
The name's Yin, and we do. See, we have run into a little bit of a issue, and we might need a quick escape.
And you likely sense a little hint of more serious tone in Val's voice, as he knows that Niroshima's been on tough times recently. He says, what kind of issue? Is he all right?
Well, that is what we are trying to rectify at the moment. He's in a bit of a spot right now. Injured. We have a man on the inside.
I'm there.
Getting in.
I'll be there.
Perfect.
Text me the location. I'll be there. And, well, by the time you hang up your phone, you'll hear my car.
Be careful. I will contact you as soon as it is okay for you to come in, maybe. The only thing is, we don't want to alert them until we've killed them all.
So it's that kind of job, is it? I like Neuro, but what's in this for me, sister?
Again, the name's Yin. Money, of course.
Okay. I'm willing to trust you. And you know what? Hiroshima, we've been through a lot together. He's never let me down either, so I'm in this till the end. I'll be right there.
We'll see you.
Okay, Yin. I'll cut the gasoline well before my target. Just let me know.
Alright, I will send you the information post-haste.
Valentine clicks off the phone.
And Yin will forward the location to him.
In his workshop, Valentine takes off his goggles and clicks the soldering iron off. He sits down on a rest. A wisp from the soldering iron wafts up through the neon lights, mingling with the smoke of Valentine's cigarette, which he puts out. He's moving very quickly, grabs his keys from a rack on the wall and a leather duster as well, and puts his hand on the doorknob to leave. Fuck, almost forgot. Runs back, grabs some sunglasses off of his counter, bolts out the door to his car. Bolts out the door to his car.
And as that scene slowly fades to black, people who have been watching the series hear that familiar rumble of that V8 engine as it starts. And it peels off. With that, we now take the scene to Yin and Yang as they start climbing and infiltrating this place. How does that look, guys? Based on your role play, I'll ask you to make various checks.
So Ian is making sure to keep to the darkness as much as possible, though doesn't look like there's anybody very close to them. It's definitely what she's most comfortable with in case there are eyes she can't see. She makes sure to take care in her climbing. She knows that it is a very time-sensitive mission, but also falling to her death from this building would also be non-opportune.
Yang is falling behind Yen. The rain drenching his body. His hair is wet. His face is covered in rain. His clothes as well. His katana hangs off his back currently, as he's shifted it to his back sheath instead of his waist. So it allows him to move more freely as he's climbing, going hand over hand, paying attention to what he's doing, being careful, trying to be as quiet as possible and not speaking.
Excellent. So you guys start climbing and eventually you get there. Now, in the rain, you've been out there, it's a little bit cold. You guys start climbing up. Are you being stealthy or are you just trying to get there as quickly as possible as you start climbing up?
Yin is being careful. She's being slightly more stealthy, not like extremely, but because of the rain and everything going on, she's making sure her handholds and footholds are secure.
Okay, cool. So let's do it this way. So Yin, you give me
Exert?
exert plus dexterity.
Oh, I did a thing. Okay.
And Yang, how was your approach?
Yang is more attempting to be careful than be stealthy, but he is not trying to be overly obvious, obviously. He's kind of following Yen's lead, just following behind her.
Okay, perfect. Given the strong roll that Yin made, you have a +1 on this roll. This one is going to be just roll me a 2d6 plus 2. The +1 negates the negative on the exert. It's just a 2d6 plus 2. The +2 is your dexterity.
You just want me to do a basic roll?
Yeah, just do a basic roll. And I think I will add
2d6
a
plus what?
2d6 plus 2. Am I getting cut out or muted?
Occasionally.
Shit. Fuck. Sorry.
You're fine.
Ooh.
So how does this look as you guys are climbing up to that place? Your final point being up here. What does it look? The rolls are perfect, so feel free to ham it and razzle dazzle it and move your tokens along.
So, as Yin's going up, she's not paying too much attention to Yang, fully giving trust that he'll be able to keep up with her. She's not going super fast, as she is mostly sticking to the darker corners as she climbs. Every time she lands on a platform, it is extremely, well, hopefully quiet, as quiet as it can be with feet on metal. She does kind of flip up a lot of as she scales up the building, using her legs to propel herself upwards and flipping over banisters to be able to effectively climb and be silent as she does.
Yeah, as Yang's following, he's mostly jumping and grabbing onto the lower platforms and clambering up, throwing his legs over, wedging his foot on the lower railing, and swinging up to the other side, and grabbing the higher rails of the banister and pulling himself over, using his waist to lessen his footfalls on the platform as he kind of flips over and turns at the same time. If that makes sense.
Excellent. And you guys climb to the top. You find that the grating that has been open, it's just open. This is an industrial complex that is, it's abandoned. Not everything is under well repair. And you guys find the way in, and just make tokens here so I can copy you. And you find your way in. And I'll move you to the infiltration point. Alright. And at that point, the scene goes into the hack room as Trauma and the person who was escorting him make it in there. Now let me move this in. And what do you do, Trauma?
Look around and get a head count, obviously seeing the 5. All the while smoking a cigarette while I walk in. Just kind of appraise the room and wait to see what they say or beckon me over to do.
And the guy who escorted you in, starts saying, "This way, please, this way." This guy's at the door. He has his eyes trained on you, and as you walk away, you can feel his eyes boring into you. You make your way down, and this person in front of you. Here. Well, are you what clearly is the leader of this place? Are you the help we requested?
Yep. And then I'll look at him and put the cigarette out and point at the table. That's the guy who needs the help.
Yes. My men have been trying to staunch the blood flow, but he needs some repair. Would you be able to provide it?
Yeah, I can give it a shot. Give me some space.
All right. He steps away. Guy steps away. And as you get closer to this individual, you can see that they are jacked in, and you would need to jack them out to perform any sort of medical procedure on them. And just as you are reaching to take the rig off the person, the scene switches into cyberspace, where Nero has been plotting plans, and we shall find out what are some of the things that he's come up with.
So, Nero, he's been following that data trail, the one leaving the security and going outside of the facility. He's been following it and trying to follow it to its destination.
Yep. So you find out some interesting things. The destination is an area in town you do not know, but you have the latitude and longitude coordinates of that place. You observe that this destination, from basically, looking at surrounding traffic, seems to be some sort of like a commercial area, and you can gather from the fact that it must be some sort of like either commercial housing or like hotels. But there is another location you have the latitude and longitude of. This is all based on the previous hack roll, which was, by the way. They're able to find out that this data stream is going there, and some sort of server is also set up over there that is pulling the data.
Okay, so Nero, as he follows this data stream, he wants to try and get information off this other server. He wants to see basically who this server is set up for or under, to try and get more information about who is collecting this data.
Okay, so this is going to be a two-part hack, and all of this is happening in parallel to whatever else we discussed, so that you have some time. It's going to be a two-part hack. The first hack is to actually insert your trace program into that data stream, and the second part would be to manipulate that trace program onto the server it's going to go and attach. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. So give me your first hack roll.
Program?
Program. Yes, I keep saying hack. Sorry, program.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
So excited. Yes, awesome. How does this look as you insert your trace program into the data stream? What's happening?
That's strength, by the way, so that might even be better.
If I used my... actually, I don't think it was. I think my intelligence is 0.
Okay.
Let me confirm that.
Yeah, intelligence is 0. Yes.
Yeah, so
Be
my
11.
strength is also 0. So no, it's the same. Yeah. Nero, obviously getting as close as he possibly can to the defenses without triggering anything, without making his presence known. He kind of just enmeshes his digital self into the stream, almost like he's putting his hands into a physical stream. You can see him at the edge of the stream, and he puts his hands deep into it. And if someone could see this, there'd be digital pieces of his information breaking off from his hands and then following into the stream.
Awesome. You now start following your trace program, and the trace program eventually hits what looks like a single port, and you realize that port is also attached to a firewall. Your trace program starts kind of, spending time looking at that firewall, and you realize that it's going to be a challenge. You could attempt to hack it, but if the hack fails for any reason, the person on the other end is going to know that someone's found them, at which point you do not know what's going to happen to you over here. So there are great risks involved, and also that firewall point looks it looks challenging from whatever you have seen in your past experience. However, at the same time, you now have more information about the location. Now, this is kind of interesting. the way you're getting it. What you realize is that the firewall that it is projecting, the amount of computing power that is being projected to maintain this firewall, to maintain this data stream, to maintain this kind of a security net over this entire location is going to draw a lot of electricity, right? It's going to be a bright spot on the electric grid if you were to go in from there. You realize that you have some options. If somebody is able to get you out of here, you could potentially go to that location, infiltrate that, get the copy and leave. There are some options like that. You could try to brute force hack it from here. There's going to be complications and side effects.
Well, Nirishima, not knowing exactly what the status of his rescue is, not even knowing if he's going to make it out of here alive, knowing that his body outside of this place is, bleeding out and he's bleeding to death, that he might not have very much time.
Just remember, you always have your comm line Yin open, so you can always get status. So it was not like a one-time thing. That's what this red comm line is. That's still alive.
Yeah.
So you have don't just giving you option.
Yeah. He'll do that. Yin, I need an update, Yin. How much longer do you think you're going to be?
Well, depending on the resistance that we experience, hopefully not much longer. Though our contact, the one with medical experience, actually should be arriving at your location very soon.
He's actually going to be arriving to me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how you could have pulled that off, but were you able to get a hold of Valentine?
Yes, he was excited to assist you.
Excited. Yeah, you probably offered him some money, I'm sure.
Well, he jumped at the opportunity to help you before I even mentioned money, so...
Sentimental fool.
Apparently.
All right, well, I'm going to send you an information packet with what I have right now. I'm going to attempt to try and get some more information and send that packet. If anything goes down and I don't make it out, you'll at least have this information to get away with.
Well, if you don't make it out, that's failure on my part. You're going to make it out. I don't fail.
In any case, secure this information.
I will.
You might need it. It might be your way out.
My way out's the front door. Everyone's dead in here. Don't worry.
All right, well, the first packet is coming right now. And Nero will send an information packet with all the information he's gathered so far so that it's on Yin's data pad.
Okay, excellent. Perfect. And kind of, I know we're writing the story here, and some coincidences always. Just as you finish that conversation and you're thinking, like, how the hell did Yin get her contact in here to get you medical aid? And you're like, you're not quite sure yet. You don't know if you can trust Yin or not. Is she just playing you? What the hell is going on? Next thing you know, the cyber rig is pulled off you, and you're immediately pulled into real space.
And immediately just yell out and lurch forward, hunched over, and grab my side again as that pain comes shooting back, and my neurons are just firing full force, reminding me that pain is still there. And I just kind of yell and grab my side and curl up, lurch forward, and lie there in my blood. Just,
Yeah, as soon as he pulls forward, yells out, Trauma will grab him by the shoulder, and push him back down onto the table that he's on, I'm assuming, or rig, whatever he's connected to, and just slam him there and just hold him there for a minute and look at him so he starts calming down.
Nero's kind of struggling a little bit at first, and he's fighting. Then it finally, through the pain, clicks what Yin said about her contact being inside, and he just looks at Trauma, and he grits his teeth, and he's biting down, gritting through the pain, and he's just running. Oh, do something!
Lay there, stop talking. I'll give you a sedative. Trauma leans back and looks at the wound. How does this look?
So the wound is similar to what Yin had, but it is not as bad as Yin. Yin was pretty much at death's door. In the case of Trauma, in the case of Neuro, there are gunshot wounds, but looking at his torso, you can see, you can see that he is lucky enough that it's a through and through wound. It's just that there is bleeding, and it needs to be, there's no extraction of bullets. There are no vital organs have been hit. It's just he's been bleeding profusely for some time, and he's pale in color. The breathing is ragged, and he certainly seems to be on some sort of stimulants, because as you can see, his pupils also dilated a bit.
Trauma just looks and shakes his head and kind of smirks. You fucking guys gave this guy stims.
And the boss steps out. Yes, unfortunately, that's all that we had, and we had to keep him going. He's not yet done. How fast can you patch him up?
Shouldn't take long. I will need to monitor him after it's done to make sure that he doesn't just die, but I'll get it done.
What would be the cost of this procedure and the cost of your monitoring him?
That's a good question. He just kind of looks at it for a minute. Depends on if you have any materials here. I can decrease the treatment cost if you have anything I need. If you don't, I have to come out of my personal supply, and I gotta charge for that.
Well, money is no matter. His task is most important. Do what you need to do and tell us what the bill is. We will transfer the credits.
$1,000 creds up front for the treatment, 500 for the monitoring.
Steep, but you were here quickly. And Trauma, give me a notice plus wisdom. Nice. Let me send you something.
Alright, got that. I'll go ahead and wait for him to... I'll wait for him to go ahead and bring out the credit thing for me to scan, get the transfer. Just kind of look at him expectantly and said, well...
Yes. 1500 it is. 750 up front, 750 after the job is done. And he basically takes out what looks like a black credit card. He holds it against his compad, he presses some numbers on it, and he hands it to you. You would know that, when you want to transfer money anonymously, these little black credit cards are perfect. They have the money, you can use them from the credit card kind of device, or you can transfer them into your account. And when they go in, they just become untraceable. Like there is no, it's like a third-party intermediary that does not say where the money came from, and you can just put it in your account and you don't have to explain. It's just, you just found the card.
Yeah, I've probably done this before. I'll take the card and put it in a jacket pocket or something, or pocket. All right, time to go to work. I start putting my materials down and look at Neuro. This is gonna hurt, just so you know.
Nero looks at him and just grips his fingers, his hands together into balls of fists.
Actually, I pull out, those little wood things that people bite down on so that people don't break their teeth. I pull out one of those and gesture over, looking at Neuro.
Nero just kind of curtly nods his head yes and opens his mouth.
Nero, when he hands it to you and you take it closer, even through all the pain, you see this thing is made out of wood, real wood, rare in this time and age. It looks to have been used a lot. There are some deep teeth marks in it.
And Nero, he notices that, glancing at it, he doesn't even register. He doesn't care. He just immediately puts his teeth around it and starts biting down.
It's sterile. And he puts it in his mouth and looks down at the wound, and let's give this a go.
All right. This is going to be your int plus heal. You start working on him, and you start cleaning up the wound. He is fidgeting a lot. It is becoming a little slower to work on him because you can't fully put him under. In other words, Nero is being a little bitch. But you are slowly making your way towards cleaning the wound and starting to stitch the wound up. But the progress is a little slower. Do you attempt to contact the inn and let them know you're in at this point while you're doing this? Or do you continue to do your work?
I don't want to tip these guys off right now. I'll probably wait until I finish the work, and then over the course of the monitoring, I'll put up a program on my phone, on my compad. And also, but in the background, maybe try to send over some signals to them to let them know what's going on. Give them like an idea that I'm at least in.
Okay.
That way I can at least play it off as part of my program.
Okay, perfect. So as you're coming to work on, the scene shifts to that corridor where Yin and Yang have just infiltrated the location. What are you guys planning to do? What's your next steps?
So do we know kind of where, like, we know where this leads, right? Does it lead into the main area, or?
Yes. So the way I'm putting this is, you guys, you came in this way. You dropped from the ceiling here, and you came in here. Now the options are go right, go left. You do have the schematics on your data pad. You know that there is a room somewhere in the center of this location where Neuro is being held. You're just not sure which room. So, also, do you have the opportunity if you want to discuss tactics on how you're going to actually infiltrate?
Yeah, Yang is like looking around. He looks to Yin. Did the Gaijin say what he was doing?
Which one?
The hacker.
The hacker. He's attempting to both stall and figure out where they are, backing up the information from that case. I have on my datapad, I think, the location.
He kind of steps back and looks around in the room. So he's in cyberspace then.
Yes.
He begins looking, see any electrical conduits, any major ones, any data conduits. There's a hard line, that sort of thing, to try to kind of follow it.
Yep. So you notice that here, not India? I'm not India. Nani? There. Those seem to be some big lines. It's unclear whether they are data, power, all of them. They do stand out from the rest of the installation, while the walls and the surrounding area repair, these seem to be a little newer.
Yeah, he walks over to them and puts his hand on one, reaching up. Ah, these, look. Newly installed.
Good eyes. Brother, if I may ask, I know you want to fight with the blade as well. What is your style? Do you prefer head-on confrontation?
I prefer whatever kills my enemies.
That does not answer my question.
In the front, in the back, it matters not. If you wish to slide behind them, then I will confront them man to man, eye to eye.
If you confront them eye to eye, I am happy to observe, watch, and execute the enemy. Now, what I am thinking with these lights, they are pesky. Maybe we should find some sort of off switch.
How will we see?
I'll get used to it. It's
I
more fun in the
cannot.
dark.
I cannot see. I cannot kill anyone.
True. Maybe we just stick to the shadow. Scope this place out. See if we can find anything. Though, do not facilities like this have emergency lighting? Maybe.
He looks around and kind of gives a look at Disdain. I wouldn't know. But I wonder, what if we made them come to us?
Oh, what is your plan?
He taps on the conduit. What if we interrupted their communications?
So shut it down?
He slowly draws his katana. With
Well,
one swift stroke of my blade, jutted it down.
the only problem I see that is it would put them on high alert, though they might be more scared that way. I just do not want them fleeing before we have a chance to get both the package and Yara.
He nods. You know more about this than I. I am simply stating that they will likely come to see what the problem is. And then perhaps we can pick them off one at a time, or at least the one that they send, or two.
You know what? Let's go with that. Might be fun.
Very well. And kind of flourishes his sword and just strikes upward through both conduits,
Okay.
cutting them in
Uh,
half. Mhm.
Okay, so you're going for the full strike. I was
Yeah.
going to offer an option if you want
Okay,
to
yeah, go ahead.
roll for something to see, you want to go full brutal or just try and nick something. Up to you. That option I can give you.
Alright, here. Okay, he basically thinks about swinging through both of them, but instead he sighs and replaces his blade, and instead pulls out his Tanto, and he kind of peels back the casing of the conduit, looks at it to make sure it's not obviously some huge power line that's going to kill him for cutting it.
Okay. Roll me a 1d2 again, please.
Okay.
All right. So there were two main power lines. You chose one at random. And as you open it slowly and you peel back the casing, you see what look like shiny, shimmering lights. And you realize you're looking at a fiber optic cable, which
Perfect.
would mean that the other one is the
Is
a
the
live
wire.
wire.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing my bravado did not get ahead of me there. And he goes and he just cuts one of the cables.
All right. As you do that, what are you guys going to do next? Before I move the scene a bit.
Yep, he looks in. Perhaps we should take cover, and then when someone comes in, you can do your best.
I shall. And Ian is going to find a dark place that's not
Okay.
easily noticeable. I don't know if that's maybe like up in the ceiling or something that she can, like maybe up here that she can kind of drop down
Sure.
from.
So let me give you some more spatial awareness around this place. This space which I just pinged is dark, but it's at a ground level. This seems to be this thing over here seems to be some sort of a broken down machine. It's big enough to crouch behind. You could try and climb up to the ceiling here.
And give her a boost too if she needs it.
Yep. And the only thing you notice, there are some, just like the image, there are some cablings and stuff over there. You just have to be a little careful, so as long as you don't get tangled up in them as you make your move. So these are the things you observe.
Well, let's see. Sorry, did you ping over here? Was that the first one?
In the
Behind
corner,
things.
left corner.
Yeah.
Here, and then
Here,
somewhere
and
up on the
then
ceiling
here.
here.
The left corner would probably be perfect for me. Just
I want
'cause-
both of you to give me a notice plus wisdom.
Hmm.
Okay, that's fine. So where would you like to hide?
I'll go to the right.
Okay. And
Go
Yang,
to
where will you
left.
be?
Left.
Okay, you are free to move your tokens. All right, so you guys snip that optical cable, and you guys quickly find hiding spots. I want both of you to give me a wait. I just need to be careful about this. Yin, you're an assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So give me a sneak plus dex, Yin. Yang, give me a sneak plus dex as well.
No one sees Yin. Oh, damn.
Oh,
I rolled 2 6s.
You guys
Stealth
Just-
twins.
disappear into wisps of smoke.
I throw the ninja ball and smoke comes up everywhere.
Oh, I think this would be a good time to show the world
Ah.
your
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh, just shivers
Just
up.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And as you guys get into your combat stances, you pull your combat masks down. Yin, you switch out your street face mask for your combat face mask. Your combat gear is now fully operational as you guys get in position. Back in the hack room, Trauma is just finishing up on Niroshima, and just around that time, there is some sort of commotion. The man who seems to be clearly the leader, like, what the fuck? And he looks up. You there? And he points to this guy over here. And you. Check the connection upstairs. There seems to be some problem. The fuck is going on here? You. And he points out to Trauma. Are you fucking done with this guy? He needs to get back in the hack.
It's probably not a good idea to put him back in so soon. If you want him to actually live long enough to finish it.
Is that your medical opinion or is that your personal opinion?
I'm here for medical, not personal.
How long does he need?
I'd give him a stim. 5 minutes.
All right, you two, you have 5 minutes to get back up there and figure out what's going down, fix the communication lines. Now. Yes, boss, yes, we're on our way. And Trauma, you see that they kind of get into what looks like a very janky elevator, and the elevator closes and they disappear. Is there anything you would like to do at this point while those two disappear?
Yeah, I'm
And the boss is clearly looking at his data pad and is trying to scroll through some stuff.
What's everybody doing in the room that I can see anyway?
So this guy is just right there, keeping an eye on things. He's looking at his boss. He's looking at you, but he is getting a little nervous looking at his boss's reaction. The guy who you saw at the entrance, he's just there by himself.
So I go ahead and look over Niroshima just doing some auxiliary shit that really I probably don't need to be doing. He could be fine, but I'm just doing it to sell it. And then obviously doing that ping thing that I mentioned as part of my monitoring, but seeing that there's a bit of an opportunity, I'll go ahead and act as though I'm monitoring Niroshima's pulse and look at him, and then I have my pistol sort of tucked in, my revolver tucked into my my pants, and I will expose that as far as like as I'm leaned over, trying not to sell it, trying to sell that I'm just leaning forward to check a pulse, and try to get him to see that I have that, and just sort of flip my eyes around towards some of the other guys in the room, appraising what he thinks about gunning these guys down.
Nero, what do you think?
Do I notice the gun?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty clearly set up to. It's like, you're kind of lying on the ground. He's hunched over you. You would have noticed the bulge in his pocket, and when he moved, you would have seen the handle of the revolver sticking out.
Nero, he meets Trauma's eyes, and he kind of he's already spit out the bite block, and he looks him in the face as he lets him know that he kind of gives a slight nod that he sees the gun, and he lets out a big breath, nods his head, and reaches for the gun.
As
Okay.
he's doing that, reach into my bag, go for the shotgun.
Okay. I want both of you to give me a sneak plus charisma.
Ooh.
Okay. Good. Nice. So you guys get to your weapons, and I just want to make sure I do this. Okay. This guy doesn't notice you. Yep, they both don't notice it as you guys reach for your weapons and you have them in hand right now. Just at that time, these two gentlemen, as they're climbing up the elevator, Yin, you hear your compad not ring but beep in your ear. On the other end, there is Val. Val has reached the location. Where is my... So on the image, it looks like Val is right outside, but he's pulled around the corner. He's behind this building.
All right, so Val, several hundred meters before the target, he cuts the gasoline and just goes on electric, which he doesn't like to do. But when he does that, all the electronics within his vehicle light up, and he starts to coast and goes slowly, kind of waiting for a signal.
Do you send any information towards Val at this time?
Yeah, so Yin will. She doesn't sense anybody, I'm guessing, yet.
No, not
hear
yet,
anybody yet.
Mhm.
She'll take out her compads and text to Val. If possible, if there's anyone outside and you have the ability or want to, anybody with a knuckle facing up towards their chin tattoo, if you can eliminate them, it would be much appreciated.
At that point, Val, you realized you have seen these fuckers before with the knuckle pointed up to their chin. Not more than a couple of weeks back, they had tried to take you and Black Coffee down in a high pursuit chase.
Yep. So Valentine is in his car. Has a cigarette hanging out of his mouth on the left side and gets a text message from Ying. Types frantically. Jesus Christ. Types back. Type. I'm a lover, not a fighter, Miss Yin. But I'll do what I can. Alright. Just you and me, boy, Valentine says, and pats the dashboard of his car. It does not talk back to him as much as he would like it to. He kind of rolls forward closer to the target area, and what does he see?
As you roll forward closer to the target area, you see that there is what looks like a kind of a beaten down blue car, rust bucket of sorts compared to your black coffee, parked in the corner, and that dirty yellow looking bus that had tried to attack you a few weeks back, that is parked there. From the vantage point in your car, you do not see anybody else, but you see these two vehicles and an open courtyard.
So he rolls forward. He's like, what the fuck? Why doesn't that raggedy ass vehicle just die? It's an eyesore on the highway. Isn't that right, Black Coffee? Again, Black Coffee does not reply. He rolls forward a little bit closer up into the courtyard, looks around again, anything he sees.
Yep, so if you move the car to the courtyard, you're in the middle of the courtyard, and that time you see these two people up over there. And they're like, what the fuck? And you can clearly see they can't put two and two together. They're frozen there for a moment in time, and at that point the scene switches, and let's get rowdy, people. Yin and Yang, you would notice that there is a sound of what sounds like a creaky old elevator that slowly makes its way up, and the doors slide open and two individuals step out.
And Yin will be keeping an eye on the one on the right, waiting for the right moment to strike, setting up an execution for him.
All right.
Yeah.
Yang
So-
has his back to this whatever this is, machine. His blade still in its sheath. His eyes closed, silently reciting his mantra of New World Bushido as he waits.
And okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yin will not fully draw her blade. It'll be slightly out of its holster. Just thumb on the hilts, slightly pressing it out. And with her combat mask on, the drugs she inhales, there's no smoke that comes out. It's diffused as she breathes in, relaxing more. Her eyes go wide as she trains her sights on this man, getting excited. Finally, I will take revenge.
Okay, perfect. So you guys see that these two gentlemen, what the fuck? These two dipshits step out of the elevator, and you can see they start making their way in tandem. I'm not even going to roll. They're not going to notice the way you guys rolled. And they get here, and they're standing, and they're starting to look at the wiring. Okay? What do you guys do at this point?
So, Yin is going to signal as best as she can for Yang to take out the left one. And once a minute has passed, and is she able?
A minute was definitely passed in your
okay.
preparation. Yes, definitely.
Perfect.
Because this is pretty much what you do. You have set up the attack perfectly.
Perfect. So are they within, like, if she just does one move, is the guy on the right within? Okay.
Yep.
So as soon as they get there, once that minute's up, once she finds, the perfect angle, she's perfect access to his neck, she's going to dart out of the shadows, silently running up behind the one on the right, and plunging her. Well, as she runs, she draws her blade and plunges it into the one on the right, attempting to grab his hair, pull his neck back, and slit his throat. So, as far as execution says, I think does max damage.
It's max damage. A melee attack always hits, but the assassin must be adjacent to the target but since you're level 2, you can move and attack. And they will be making a physical saving throw at a penalty equal to the attacker's combat skill. But I believe the penalty is more on level 2. Let me confirm.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say? Okay, perfect. So then it is your combat skill. In this case, it is stab. So the penalty of 2. All right.
So I think max damage. What would max damage be anyway?
I think in your case, you're taking the big one out, right? The sword out.
Oh yeah.
It is 8d plus 1 plus 2. So that's 11 points of damage. So let's see if this guy can do a physical save. How does this look, Ian? Because he has only 6 HP and you just did 11 points of damage.
So Yin, seeing that she finally has that opportunity, when she runs up, draws her blade, she's able to, though her stature is smaller, she's able to jump up onto the guy's back, wraps her legs around his waist, and grabs the back of his hair, pulling his hair back and exposing his neck. And she takes one deep inhale before quickly sliding the blade across his neck, driving it deep within, almost severing his head as she rips the sword back.
Excellent. Yang, roll me initiative to see if you go before that guy goes. Just
Nope.
so he turns around and I want to make a save for this guy. He sees his partner's being executed in a brutal fashion, the blood actually, the only time he realizes that his partner is dead is not the sound of Yin moving, is not the sound of Yin drawing her blade, is not the sound of Yin moving the blade across the target. It's the sound of blood spurting on his face, it hitting him in his face, and him tasting the blood in his mouth. That's when he realizes something to his right, and he looks and he sees, Japanese movie style blood just spurting everywhere at that point. And he takes a few steps back and he's like, huh? What the fuck? Yeah, what do you do?
Yang is right as Yin jumps forward. Takes a deep breath. Serve your master always. Guilt does not exist. Only the future matters. Might makes right. Love is weakness. Hate is strength. Death is a blessing. Fear nothing. And as he says that last word silently, turns the corner and puts his left arm below his sheath, propping it up, his right hand on the hilt of his blade. His body careens forward as he runs, and as he gets closer with an Ayajutsu stroke, swings out and up and attempts to sever the man's arm underneath the armpit.
Okay, go for it.
Assuming I can move and attack, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Right. One second.
No. Roll a normal attack of your thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How does this look?
As the blade comes out quickly in one just swift stroke up, it cuts through the armpit, out the shoulder, and ends up passing through into the jawbone, all the way up into the center of his mouth. With a quick retraction, he pulls the sword back and turns, and then sees the body slump to the ground, takes both hands onto the blade, and does a quick flip to fling the blood off the blade, and then quickly resheathes the blade as the cold steel crosses over the cloth, quote-unquote rag, the tip of his sheath to clean it as he resheathes the blade. All in one very quick, concise motion.
And as these two simultaneous executions happen, the style is very different. One, an explosion of what looks like emotion in combat. The other, what looks like pure logic in combat. Two different styles, but they both are almost similar in the way it's executed. Unbeknown to the siblings, their movements, the way they choose which feet follows which feet, their posture, their body movement have a poetic yin and yang about it. As the two knuckle draggers fall to the ground, what is your next move?
Yin will before the body falls to the floor, she will unwrap her legs and place her feet down. She looks as the body slumps, the blood spewing from his neck, and though her mouth is not visible, she is smiling extremely widely underneath her mask. And she looks over to her brother, seeing that he has dispatched the other one just the same. And she'll look over to him as she cleans off her blade with her hands and places it back in its sheath. Oh, brother. That was exciting.
Yang just turns butchery, nothing more.
It is beautiful.
Well then, let us paint more pictures of blood below. Shall we find your friend?
Yes, yes, we shall. And we shall make this place a graveyard for all those like them. And she'll point down the knuckle dragger on the floor.
And
Nods.
you guys would have observed that they came from this direction, and there's an elevator right there.
Shall we?
Let us. Come.
Maybe we should take the bodies for effect.
He just looks down at the body. I would prefer not to soil myself.
That is fine. I will take mine. And she'll reach down and grab the one that she killed by the hair again and drag him towards the elevator. If he proves too heavy, she'll drop him. It's not worth it that much.
Yang kind of comments. Perhaps just the head, sister.
Oh, I like your style. And she'll take the blade out again, cut off his head. Much lighter. She'll carry it with her as they make their way to the elevator.
Excellent. And as you guys make to the elevator, you get in the elevator and press the down button. And as you guys are going down, the scene quickly shifts to what seems to be happening in the courtyard of the industrial complex. Oh, sorry, I should have taken you guys off. My bad. And what is happening in the courtyard complex at this point is the two people on top, they're like, the fuck is going on? Who the fuck are you? And let me just clear this aspect over here. Roll initiative, Valentine. Oh, I couldn't have written this better myself. You go first. What do you do, Valentine?
What are they doing? I mean, is this
They're just standing
roll
there.
initiative because they started combat, or like
No,
like
so-
hey man, guy.
No. So their guns are out. They didn't expect a car like yours to just show up in the middle of their courtyard. They're definitely trying to protect something. So they're like, the guns are out, but they're not shooting yet. And they're like, you don't know if they're going to shoot first or ask questions, or but you have at the top, like, you get the first chance before they do anything. What is it that you would like to do?
Yeah. So I want to kind of stop the car there, and kind of get to where they can't see me, kind of on the far side of the car.
So you're going to get out of the car, correct?
Yeah, but like, so the passenger side, you open it and kind of slide out of it, so he can like get in real quick. You know what I'm saying? But he's on the other side.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm like, hey, I got a medevac right here. I got your alert. You need a medevac. I'm here. Within 10 minutes. It's been fast. Real fucking fast, man. You got a guy in there bleeding out? I'll help you.
Okay. So give me a talk plus charisma.
glad I leveled this.
Nice. So let's see if they get it. Right. And they seem confused. What? We already have a guy. Like, the fuck? What?
Yeah, the fuck? What do you mean? You already have a guy? I'm here. I'm your guy. And he starts to say his name, then he goes, I'm your guy.
And these guys look at each other, and he's, wait there, don't you move. And this guy starts making his way down, as this guy is now clearly has his gun pointed at you as this guy is making his way down.
Okay, I'm not going to move, but the word is you got a guy inside, and he's bleeding out. He's not going to be moving ever again. I mean, let me get inside, get my shit, right? And he kind of goes into his car, and actually he's kind of
he's saying, and when you try to move, he says, "Do not move, motherfucker. Just stand there. Do not fucking move."
Okay.
And as the guy is making his way down, you do not see it, but he's actually calling inside. The scene moves inside. And at this point, Trauma and Neuro, you guys see that the boss, the bald-headed man, gets a call, and there is confusion on his face. At the same time, you guys hear the elevator start making its way down, and as it makes its way down, the elevator doors have not yet opened. I want all of you in this scene roll me initiative. Not combat yet, but just roll me initiative so I know. Who rolled?
I rolled.
We all rolled.
Roll again, please.
Rolled now.
Roll again, please.
I got the
And
same
I'll
thing
update
anyway.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on.
Keep that.
No.
Neuro, what
That's
did you
fine.
roll first? Neuro
5.
rolled a 5.
5's for Neuro and Yin, and 3's for me and Yang.
Okay, so Yin, you 3. Okay,
Oh.
and this guy. This guy.
Jeez.
So, this is not yet combat. This is all happening in order. So this is just to, I know what's going to happen where. So as the elevator kind of reaches, Trauma, you see Craven very confused. Like, what the fuck are you talking? We already have a guy here. Who the fuck's outside? The elevator door hits the ground. The door starts opening. This knuckle dragger senses something is off. His boss is screaming. These other 2 members are going up, and now the elevator's back pretty quickly. This guy starts moving also. What do you guys do at this point?
Oh, if I had my gun, I'm just capping the ball, dude, the moment that I have an opportunity.
Okay. Nero?
Nero, seeing the other twitchy little guy start walking towards us right down here, he immediately, as soon as he pulls the gun out, he just starts firing at that guy.
Okay, perfect. Yin and Yang, what are you guys doing?
Once Yang comes out, he's looking to see who's nearby, what the scene is. He looks down. He looks over to his right. Can I get over to this guy from where I am?
Let me see. I think you can.
I mean, not this turn necessarily. It just, can I physically get there?
Yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah, he would look at Yin, help them. I'll take this one. And he would begin to hustle in that direction.
It says you can move 10 meters in combat. It's 30 feet. I think you can move to him. So let's do this. See if he gets it. No, not physical, sorry. All right. He sees you guys coming out of the elevator. He's gonna shoot with his pistol at you, Yang.
Ouch.
Oh, snap.
For 7 damage.
I have some sort of armor, right?
You
I think
do.
that only affects AC.
Yep. So 19 against your 17. Isn't your armor class 17?
No, I think it's 15.
15 plus your dex, which is 2, 17.
Okay, okay.
So it still passes. So 7. That's his turn. KD's just too busy trying to get everything going. This Knuckle Dragger is going to try and see if he catches any of this. Yep. So he sees both Trauma and Neuro starting to turn towards him, and yep. So Trauma is 1, Neuro is 2, 1. Perfect. So he's going to shoot his pistol at Trauma. 12.
Yeah.
Which misses. It just pings off. You're in combat armor at this point, correct?
Oh, I just threw my mask on. The way I play it is
Oh.
that he doesn't come. This is just to protect his face like a ballistic mask. So maybe it hits the head, but it's kind of shivs off.
Nice. Perfect. Neuro, you're up. Neuro,
Ooh,
Doc.
doctor.
Yeah.
He disconnect. Oh, he's there.
Sorry, I got
No problem. I just realized something. 1 minute. Let me add a revolver sheet. Perfect. A revolver has been added to your sheet. So if you click on your token and hit weapons, you should now have access to revolver.
Okay, yep, there it is. So yeah, he immediately grabs that revolver, the pistol out of his pants there, and as he moves out of the way, Nero, just kind of in pain, rolls off to the side and starts firing.
Okay. Oof. And as you fire, in that pain, your movement is a little slower than expected. This Knuckle Dragger sees it, and he's able to kind of just flinch and get out of the way as you shoot. And you can see the bullet just miss him by whiskers. Ian, you're up.
All right. Most
Hey,
likely.
Can I cut in real quick? Sorry.
Sure.
Can I use my class ability Warrior on that last one? Once per scene, as instant ability, you can either choose to negate a successful attack against you, or turn a missed attack roll you made into a successful hit.
So you can do one or the other, or both?
One or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah, so you choose the miss, right?
Yep.
Yeah, how does it look, my man? That's perfect.
He shoots, and it looks like it's gonna hit me, but like at the last minute, Yang jumps, rotating in the air, and then comes down in a kneeling stance, just kind of how his token is, as the bullet just whizzes by. So he
Nice.
jumps and spins, right? Kind of.
Excellent. So that shot misses. Yin, you're up.
So Yin, still holding the head and everything, she sees the chaos going on and uses this opportunity to actually sneak back into the shadows to set up for another attack.
Okay. Could I know who your target is?
She'll be eventually most likely moving, down there and attacking probably either Baldy or this. If Baldy survives, yes, she'll be attacking Baldy.
Okay, perfect. Trauma, you're up.
We're gonna do something called a burst fire with my combat shotgun. It is. I use 3 rounds of ammo. I get a +2 bonus to hit and damage. So I'm just unloading on him.
Do it.
Do it. So it's gonna be a +2 to the attack.
Yep, +2 to the roll.
That's garbage.
Wait, is that with the +2?
That it. Oh, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. That's really bad.
Oh.
Roll a 3. Mm.
And who are you shooting at?
Bald guy.
Ball guy. Perfect. So ball guy, as he starts hearing the firing, and he turns around and he sees basically a shotgun in his face, he basically just jumps out of the way. It's like you don't get to be a boss without quick reflexes, and he just jumps out of the way before the shot even gets through. Yang, you're up.
So Yang, flipping through the air, comes down on one knee. He immediately forward rolls, and as he kind of pops up into a sprint, draws his sword. It's held upside down, and as he gets close to the knuckle dragger, drops into a knelt position again, sliding on his knees with his sword out to the right, attempting to disembowel the man.
Beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. He sees you coming. You are quick, but somehow he senses the attack is oncoming. And as you get close, he sidesteps. He's still within attacking range of you, but he sidesteps to miss that attack. We are at the top of the round. At this point, the scene quickly changes to the outside.
He does get shock damage. Oh no, 10 AC. Never mind. Sorry. Good.
No. Yes, you're right. Please hold on.
Well,
Good point.
it's versus 10 AC. You get shock damage.
No. You, my friend, have something special with that close combat.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it does. It makes it as if they have 10 AC for shock damage.
It is as if they have 10 AC for shock damage. So his AC literally becomes 10.
I still missed though. That's my point. I
But
rolled
he
seven.
does-
Shock damage applies even.
No,
if
shock
it has-
damage applies nonetheless.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
The
yes.
AC is
Mhm.
equal to or less than,
Mhm.
and you have a
Yep.
trait. So
Yep. So basically, what it says here is the shock damage from your melee attacks treat all targets as if they were AC 10. So you pretty much hit. You cannot miss. You hit. You still make 5 damage against him. So as he steps out of the way, he doesn't step out of the way fast enough. Your blade is still coming down, and it ends up basically not disemboweling him, but basically you end up dragging the blade right across his back, exposing his spine. He at this point is just barely hanging on, even though he's just barely hanging on. You can see, like, you don't even know what's keeping him up, but you can see his exposed spine at this point. And with that, the scene shifts back to the outside of the industrial complex. I believe it was Val. Val was 4, and the other 2 knuckle draggers. As this guy is coming down over the compad, he can hear the chaos inside, and he's like, "The fuck is going on? There's some trouble inside. This guy is not who he seems." And they start shooting at you.
So as that happens, I mean, if CC goes for his weapon, Val drops down kind of behind Black Coffee and pulls out his weapon.
Okay, perfect. 17. What is your AC? 13. Plus. You're shooting him. I almost completely. -4. 13. Meets beats in this. So you are behind Black Coffee, so you get a negative. He gets a -4 modifier to that attack, so the attack's going to be 13 for 4 damage. Your AC is 13. I'm trying to see if this is a beats. Equal or greater than the target's armor class. So yes, so you do get hit for 4. The guy on top who has his this is the guy on top who had his weapons trained at you. This guy is still running towards you. You are now at the top of the round. What do you do, Valentine?
So as just narratively, there's like a firefight happening, I suppose. Valentine, there's a couple shots that go through Black Coffee. Bam, bam, bam. They rip through the upholstery of the car to the other side and slam into Valentine's left shoulder. He's like, "Motherfuck! God damn it!" He does so. He tries to go up and return fire through the car, the guy closest to him, at the same time as kind of babying his left arm and sliding into the driver's seat, if he can do that.
Yep, you can slide into the driver's seat as you're doing. Hit 4, your HP is 5. Go ahead and shoot. 17, perfect. That hits. And you clearly see that you return fire. You do exactly what they did to you. You return fire and you wing this guy. This guy kind of comes around.
I don't know that he shot.
I never shot.
Oh wait, that's sorry. Okay, go ahead.
That's his. I'll take it. There you go. 2 though.
2. Okay. Still stands. You wing him, but not as bad as you thought it would be. This guy kind of comes around, and he's still coming around.
Run him over.
Okay. Yep. This guy loses sight of you once you get into the car, and he's kind of moving to find a better position. As the action switches back into the hack room. This guy, his only weapon is a pistol, and when he is in melee combat with a ranged weapon, it's a -4 penalty to hit. So he's going to try and hit you with a -4 penalty, which is a miss. How does that look, Yang, as he tries to shoot you and it misses?
Yeah, he tries to shoot me as I kind of slide by, and I just go into another forward roll and pop up to my feet, and he's just shooting behind me. Just can't keep up with me.
Nice. This guy, the boss, he steps back behind these what looks like they're not servers, but like some big metal units, and he's going to try and shoot at Trauma, who shot at him, which misses completely. This knuckle dragger, seeing that the person with the shotgun, he's going to try and move away, get some cover, and he's going to shoot his weapon at Trauma as well, which is a miss. Nero, you're up.
Nero, after he fires and sees the other guy kind of fire trauma, backing away, Nero rolls over to his left side and kind of lunges forward just a little bit, his arm outstretched, his left hand holding his side, and with blood all over his hands and fingers, he just starts pulling the trigger at this little fucker again.
Okay, go for it. And again, it just misses. It's like you cannot. this
We
fucker
are
won't
not
stay
fighters.
in one place as you keep shooting, and it fucking just whizzes by him. It's starting to get annoying at this point. Ian, what do you do?
So I'm wondering exactly how close is point blank. I'm guessing point blank range is that like right beside someone?
Yes, as a melee combatant, you have to be right beside someone.
Darn. Okay. So again, going to, since he's over here, try and stealthily sneak as much as I can, hiding kind of behind equipment, crawling over it as kind of the chaos is going on.
Yep, you can
Trying to
take
get-
a full movement, yeah.
Okay. I think I can't get to him exactly.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Since you are a special kind of combatant, I'm taking spatial stuff into account. 24 and like, so I would say you can move here sneakily and then try and come up behind him,
Yeah.
as
so
he is clearly engaged by two combatants who are in front of him. I would say still go ahead and roll a sneak plus dex.
Okay. Just
Okay. Who's that next? Trauma, you're up.
Trauma's gonna slow walk towards Craven behind the machines, burst firing again as he tries to close the distance, just keeping him stuck, and then he's gonna shoot once or twice towards, and then just try to turn the corner and blaze him with the third shot.
Okay, go for it.
Oh my.
How
That's
does
gonna
that
be
look?
10 damage with the +2 from burst fire.
Yep, so you come around, you give two shots to, you see him actually look up towards Ian as he sees like some shadow running to, like, at the corner of his eyes. He looks up. Next thing he knows, there's two shotgun shells like right next to his ear. And when he looks towards the shots, like he moves back instantly, looks towards the shot, and he sees you come around the corner with the shotgun, getting him right in the chest, and he's like, but you see that what he's wearing, it looks like heavy armor, but he is hurt. Like the armor has been pierced. There is now, like, slowly, like in movies, you start seeing blood actually come up through the armor and start spread across, but he's still standing, but he's fully hunched over, and he's pushed back a little more. Yang, you're up.
I'm just gonna roll and then narrate based on the outcome.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Yeah, so
Yes, how does that look?
yeah,
As-
so Yang's back is kind of almost to him as he kind of forward rolled away, and the guy might have turned towards him, and as he does, Yang just makes this huge back step and drives his sword backwards through the guy's stomach and out his back, and then he turns it and finishes the the original cut to disembowel and just cuts him in half.
Nice. Excellent. He's dead. The boss, seeing that he's been hit, he screams into his compad, "Get in here now! We need backup!" And he brings up his gun towards Trauma to shoot him. Oh my god! He's rolling a +4.
Natural luck, baby. That's all you
That's
need.
right.
Awesome,
Medic,
man.
you can't shoot him.
He's
There's that Red
like-
Cross sign.
Yeah. And oh shit! Oh man, this is fucking awesome. He looks up and he's like, he starts shooting, and he's still bent over. He never takes aim properly, and he shoots completely over your head, Trauma. This knuckle dragger, seeing that his boss is close to losing it, he is going to make a morale. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm out," and he starts running. He makes a double move, doesn't shoot, doesn't. Nero, you get a chance to, as he rolls past, if you want to shoot him.
Yeah, so
Because you're up
as,
next.
Of course he does.
as he's running by, Nero kind of like spins the gun around to try and keep up with him, and fires at him with his holding his side, gun up in the air, probably turned a little sideways, doesn't hold it very well.
If he misses, it kicks out of his hand.
Amazing.
He as you do that, it's this guy and you tonight. There is something about him. Maybe the fact that he took a dirty rag and tried to staunch your blood flow, and the karma of that. The bullets are just not getting anywhere close to him as he makes his way up the stairs. Ian, what are you doing?
I don't know if this guy's seen me yet, but she's gonna charge over actually to the one running. She
Okay.
likes the fear.
Mm-hmm.
Should I roll for stealth first? I don't know.
No, just go for the state attack for this one because it's not really execution at this point.
Oh no, it wouldn't. It's not execution
Huh.
that I'm aiming for. It was give me one moment.
Oh, is this some other power?
Yeah, it's what I used before. So it's with my tiny blade instead of doing the mono blade. So I use a small blade, and from point blank range attacks made from surprise with it can't miss the target.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, please. Okay, go ahead and roll your sneak plus dex. This guy is gonna roll his notice.
Ugh. Rolling crap.
Not as bad as
Never
him.
mind.
So you make it up to him, and then what's the roll? What's the attack roll for that?
So that one.
So you said it hits always, or
Yeah, it auto hits.
Yeah, just
Uh,
roll the
and then-
weapon and see what the
yeah,
damage
the
says.
damage. Yes, yeah,
Yep,
go for it.
yep. Okay, so she takes out as she charges at him. Instead of taking her mono blade that she previously did put away, she takes out the smaller blade from her boot before she runs. She used on one of the gentlemen earlier that took her down. She took down. Let's see.
Mm,
That's a lot of damage.
How does that look?
All right, so Yin charging up to this gentleman, she of course gets extremely excited by the fact that he's running away from battle. She loves it when their backs are turned to her. And though she thought her kicking over maybe a box or computer as she charged at him would alert him. Apparently, he was too focused on getting away. Unfortunately for him, she's able to tackle him to the ground with her momentum, pinning him down before, again, favorite move, grabbing the back of his head and slitting his throat again.
Clean up in aisle 5, please. I need some napkins. Awesome. Trauma. You are now in front of this guy. How does this look? Are you still burst shooting?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, wait. Burst shoots. Uh-oh. Hold on. Burst shot in your case is how many bullets? 3?
3. I'm good. I've used it twice. I'm down to 6 shots.
So you... yes, you're down to 6 shots. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
How does the...
That's 12 damage.
Yes, please describe in absolute detail how your shotguns does that to that person.
So I look at him hunched over, and he's giving me a bit of a hard time earlier. The whole is that your personal or medical? And Trauma's a bit vengeful sometimes, and looks at him with the mask on.
It's my medical opinion. You look like you need some help. Let me give it to you.
And
Oh, please. Yes.
Uh-oh,
Nice.
it's Luke.
He's going.
and then walk out.
Excellent. And just as those last shots go through, the scene quickly changes to the outside, where at this point, Valentine is in Black Coffee. These two guys out here have definitely heard the screaming coming over their compads. Valentine, it is your turn.
Valentine sits behind the wheel of Black Coffee. Ugh, motherfuck! Holds his left shoulder. Little blood's oozing from between his fingers, going over the black upholstery in the car. Fucking just clean this son of a bitch. The guy in front of it just fucking puts it on the gas. Tries to run him over.
And you run him over. Let me see if he can actually make a save to get out of the way.
Oh shit!
I doubt. Let's see.
Fastest man alive.
This is evasion save,
Oh.
and it fails. Please explain in detail as you.
So what happens is he guns it and has his kind of his right hand over his left shoulder, but and his pistols on the passenger seat, and has his left hand on the wheel, guns it. This guy is trying to get away, and his head just disappears underneath the hood of the car, and you hear dum 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 dum, and it goes all right. And he looks in the rearview mirror looking for his mark.
Yep.
Gets on his comm.
One.
Where you at? Backs up, another couple thuds.
Let's see what this guy does. He actually stays. He does not lose his nerve as he sees his his partner being run over. He chooses to shoot at Black Coffee, and he's peppering Black Coffee from the back. There's no way those shots are going to get to you. Your call over the comm comes through. Yin, you hear it.
And she'll answer it. Yes.
You sound awful fucking calm. I hear fucking shotgun blasts from inside, and oh, god damn it!
Oh,
Let's
no.
just say I'm not in good shape.
Oh, we have someone to fix that. Don't worry. All is good in here.
right out here. Get out here. No.
You're cutting out, Bo. At least to me. Oh, shit. Me.
Ah,
Alright, I think we're back.
damn it.
Hello.
I missed that last part of
yeah.
what you said, Bo.
Yeah.
Yep, we can hear each other now. Perfect.
Yay.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can hear Val screaming outside over the loud engines of Black Coffee. Yin is calm. She's just slitting throats. You guys realize you have killed everybody in this room. What do you do next? As you can hear the sound of gunfire outside.
Let's take that one out.
Yang turns and kind of hears her talking. Wait, sister. He looks down to Trauma. Will you help the getaway driver, please?
Sure. Hold on a second. Rifle through Craven's pockets real quick, looking for mainly under those black cards.
You do find something. Make a note of it and ping me later.
Gotcha. And then I'll go out and go help the.
All right. And as you're walking out, you're basically. Are you just walking coolly, calmly, reloading your shotgun as you're walking out?
I grab my bag first,
Okay.
put it over my shoulder, and then just reload calmly. Actually, I stop for a second near Neuro, and then grab the revolver out of his hand, and just look at him for a minute, shake my head, and put it in my side pocket.
Nero's just kind of looking around. He's looking down at his hands, holding it aside. He shakes his head, and he looks down at the table. He grabs the device that he was plugged into, the device that brought them all here, the device that they were supposed to bring back, and he grabs that and puts it inside his coat. And he looks over to Yin. I know where they were downloading the copy. We need to get there.
Did they finish the download?
I don't know. I haven't been back in since the shooting started. We need to get somewhere safe. And I need to get back in.
And Yin will offer a hand down to Nero. Come on.
As you're doing that, Yang walks behind you, Yin, and whispers something into your ear, which I sent to you on Discord.
Okay. So as that is happening, I'm just going to quickly take the action outside. As you know, Valentine is kind of swerving Black Coffee around. Trauma, you step outside and see the guy who's shooting at this massive fucking tank of an SUV in the middle of the courtyard that's kind of doing donuts. What do you do?
I look up at the guy who's shooting, recognize that he's a knuckle dragger, level my gun and fire from the ground.
Go for it. Please explain in gory detail what happens.
I level it, aim at his chest, but combat shotgun does scatter. It is a shotgun, and flies up and just tears his body to shreds. Upper torso, jaw detaches, and he goes propelled over the edge and falls to the concrete.
Nice.
Begins to bleed everywhere. And I stand there and look at the SUV, removing my mask.
As you do that, there's this SUV kind of makes a hard turn, just kind of does this fishtail around and kind of ends up at the passenger door, like right next to you. And you see a man on the inside. He's an older gentleman, probably in his late 40s, even early 50s maybe. And he has initially his right hand over his left shoulder, but then moves that hand. You see it's blood covered as he reaches over and opens the door. He's like, "Get in! Where's Neuro?"
And he just looks at you and then goes over his comm. Driver's safe. Let's go. They're coming out, he says to Valentine. Gets in, looks at your shoulder. Nasty.
And he just looks at you, excited.
You get
Want
to the
that
door,
fixed.
and the camera goes back into the hack room as there's a discussion going on. What's happening there?
So as Yang whispers into Yin's ear, she shakes her head. It's not part of the job.
Well then, you lose a tool for your ultimate goal.
Point.
Whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Maybe we can find out. Yeah, take my hand.
Nero puts his hand out and takes Yin's. It's covered in blood. He's weak. He's favoring his side. He's holding on to the device. And he holds onto her hand.
And Yin takes another inhale. And she hasn't in 5 minutes. Told you. You're not going to die. They did.
Thank you for coming back for me, Yin. I did not expect that from you.
There's much you'll learn, Nero. Now, I have a favor to ask.
With that, Nero kind of pulls his hand away, slides out from her hand. He kind of squints his eyes a little bit. What favor?
It's not the reason I rescued you. It was a point that my brother made. Would it be possible to make a copy of whatever that is?
I'm sure it's possible. Someone else is doing it.
Maybe we can find out where they're doing it, take theirs.
Yeah, it's probably the only copy of it out there.
Let's do it. Where shall we take you safely so you may find this location?
To Val. Take me to Val.
Come on, do you need assistance?
And Nero just kind of is holding his side and says, I can make it. And he kind of limps out of here.
And Ian will follow, looking back though at the carnage that they had caused in this room, smiling widely under her mask before taking, I think she still had a hold of the head, before tossing that to the side and leaving behind Hiroshima.
And with that, as you guys step out, it's kind of like a movie scene as the three of you step out abreast. You see a massive SUV, a fucking tank of a machine right in the center of the courtyard. There's a man sitting at the wheel, and right next to him, riding shotgun with his shotgun, is Trauma.
How meta.
Nero walks out and he immediately recognizes Black Coffee. And he knows who's in the driver's seat, and he just smiles. Just the largest relief washes over him. And he shakes his head. And he just starts walking towards the vehicle.
Yang looks to Yin. Where is your friend at? The other Gaijin.
Machine?
Yes.
I guess he's still wandering. I will find him. Give me the coordinates to wherever you're going. Do you wish to ride with them?
Hardly. I will
And
go with
running
you in
around the
your...
corner, you guys see Machine. Like, the fuck? The fuck just happened here?
Ian will look over the machine. We just solved the problem. We do have to leave though, so if you could follow this one. And she gestures over to Black Coffee. Wherever they are going.
Nero goes and crawls into the back seat of Black Coffee and looks up at Valentine. It is so good to see you, Val. It is so good to see you. You're probably the only person here that I can trust right now. I can't tell you right now what's going on, but I will. We need to get somewhere safe. Anywhere safe.
Valentine looks into the rear view mirror as his friend Neuroshima hops into the back, crawls into the back. It looks like both of them are bleeding and bloody. Valentine takes a deep breath. Fucking A, man. Can't seem to stay out of trouble, can you?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to drag you into this, friend.
I've given up trying to stay out of trouble at this point, Neuro. Embrace the chaos, that's what they say. With that, he flips his sunglasses down onto his eyes and lights up a cigarette. Looks over to the medic. Sorry about that. I'm mindful of my health and all that, but stress. He rolls down the window of the driver's side of the Black Coffee and hangs a cigarette outside the window at least.
Trauma goes into his bag and pulls out a cigarette of his own and lights it. Yeah, that's good. More people should be.
And then he
Go ahead.
kicks it into gear.
And with that, the convoy rides out onto the highway. Do you slot in your favorite track?
Sure.
And as the convoy rides out onto the highway, leaving the industrial complex behind, Black Coffee leads, with Machine following in the other car. Nero is finally catching a breath in the back seat. Trauma is counting the amount of credits he's made. Yin is smiling ear to ear behind her mask. And Yang is scheming as always. And with that, the screen slowly starts fading to black as the music kicks in. And with that, the session comes to an end.
That's such a cool